Welcome to the VIP section.
J baby y'all. 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 The vibes. Make sure you go like and subscribe to the channel if you like what's going on, if you like all the hip-hop and the sports news, and you like everything that Shay Baby's bringing to the table. Make sure you like and subscribe. You already know the vibes. Yes, sir. We are lit. Let's talk about it. Let's get some Jadakiss in there.
What it is, baby. Kiss. Shout out to SHEABABYTV, the hottest shit on the internet. Giving flowers, showing love, no hate, no sucky shit.
Yes, sir. That's a fact. We in this today. Pause. Yeah. Shout out to everybody pulling up. Shout out to everybody, too, on Facebook, too. I see y'all out there. That's a fact. I'm up early, lit. It's a new week, man. We can't start off. And like I always tell y'all, you start off the week bad, you're going to have a bad week. Let's start this week off right. Let's talk about it. Your man Diddy case has began. Your man Diddy case has began. Yeah, baby. Your man Diddy is from here on out, we gonna know if he's doing life, he's doing 20, or he gonna be home this summer with the Cocolosos. Like this. The Cocolosos. Yeah, baby. So only time will tell. You know we gonna cover everything. We've been covering Diddy the whole time. Shout out to him, too, because he used to come into the chat always, talking about he's slipping on baby oil. He slipped through the bars, and he broke out of jail. Remember all that smoke? Yeah, baby. Remember all that smoke? That's a fact. Yeah, so shout out to everybody out there pulling up. So we got some, Ayo King, I do music. How can I get my sound played? There. Just DM me on Instagram, my boy. We talk some business. K Dennis, what's goody? Well, if you stick around for a minute, you're gonna see your artist. Well, in fact, let's get that out the way right now. Shout out to my man Reef Hustle. Hit me up, said he got a song he's promoting, he got an album out. Took care of business. We to the streets. Yeah, baby. We to the streets. Shout out to my man Reef Hustle from the Bronx. You know Reef been at this for a while. Reef's been doing his thing for a minute, man. He's been that dude. You know, out there in these streets. He was signed to Big Pun, Fat Joe, and all of them. Doing his thing since the late 90s. Yeah, baby. Let's get that out the way right now. Shout out to my man Reef Hustle. We're going to start the show off with my boy Reef. 100%. All right, so here's the song right here. Hold on, no phone calls right now. No phone calls right now. We're going to get that out the way. Let's get this. Shout out to my man Reef Hustle.
For the love you show me, oh, how can I ever repay you, girl? You know you are my everything, girl. You know, mama, I done raising me, wasn't easy. So I caught the Billy Coop just to see it. Everywhere I go, everybody see that. That's my mama, that's my mama.
Mama, we didn't have much. You made me feel like we was rich. You know my little tricks, and anytime I got slick, made sure that I was straight.
Fire! Shout out to my man Reef Hustle. Definitely. Hold on, let's see what this is. If they'll call back. Now, this is the album cover right here. So if you want to go stream that, there you go. So you see my boy, there's the promo you will get early in the morning, and it will stick around on YouTube. That's a fact. And it's on 4 platforms live. Facebook, Rumble, all of that. So yeah, DM me. We could do business. Yeah, baby. Shout out to Reef Hustle, the album cover, the artwork, everything is fire. Yeah. Matter of fact, we're going to get Reef on here, the call up tomorrow maybe. I'll call him up and maybe me and him could chat and talk about the album. Shout out to him. He's a friend of mine. That's a fact. Yeah, baby. All right, so you know today, what today is, it's the Knicks versus the Celtics. It's gonna get nasty. You know, I don't know. The Celtics looking like they the champs. I'm a Celtics fan, so of course you know I want the Celtics to win. But this was crazy right here to me. Kenny Anderson. Kenny Anderson's from Queens. If you know about basketball, you know Kenny Anderson is the New York City. You know, Kenny Anderson, I want to say he's the New York City poster child next to Stephon Marbury. You know, those type of dudes. You know, the guys that paved the way for all the New York City guards. You know, Kenny Anderson is one of them. I can't lie. Kenny Anderson is, I want to say he is them. He's Marbury before Marbury. Marbury wants to be Kenny Anderson. No offense, Steph. But, you know, with the part up the middle, his whole swag, you know, the whole everything, just being an All-American guard from New York City. You know, Kenny Anderson's out there. You know, he's playing against UNLV Larry Johnson and Bobby Hurley and Duke and them back in them days. You know what I'm saying? So he's definitely a legend in New York City, Kenny Anderson. Yeah. Future T, what it is. All right, so check out what Kenny Anderson says what's going to go down with this Knicks game versus the Celtics tonight.
Yo, I'll be very surprised. I'll be surprised if the Knicks beat the Celtics in this series. I'll be surprised. But anything's possible. But I have the C's winning in 5. Winning in 5. The Knicks might win one game. That's what and I know all my New York, oh, he's a hater. Yeah. I hate on the Knicks from New York, but I don't care nothing about the Knicks. I'm all Brooklyn Nets, New Jersey Nets, Boston Celtics. That's how we roll.
Ha! Shout out to Kenny Anderson. All right, so I agree with him. The Knicks get it. The Knicks get that work tonight. I ain't gonna lie to you. Yeah. There's no way in the world the Knicks can beat them. But shout out to the Knicks, though. They support the platform. Look at your man, Mikal Bridges.
What's up, y'all, man? Check out SHEABABYTV. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yo, man. Check out SHEABABYTV. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So it's hard for me to hate on the Knicks when they show love. But I gotta say, I can't take the Knicks over the Celtics. There's no way. There's no way. I mean, the Knicks, but yo, I'm gonna tell you, niggas is hungry in that garden, though. When they come to that garden, they better play hard, the Celtics. Them fans, defense, defense. In the garden, it's crazy. overrated. All of that. It's going to get nasty in the Garden. Playoff time? What? And the weather's good? Outside New York City, Manhattan. I might go down there tonight. I ain't going to hold you. Me and Tone was talking about that last night. I might go down there tonight and get some content talking to the people outside because the outside venue's lit tonight, watching the game on the big screen while they out there in Boston. John Daniel, what's poppin', my boy? Shout out to Mark keeping the building, too. And I get money. I see you, boo-boo. 100%. Future T, what it is. Shout out to the people on Facebook, too. I see y'all. All right, but yeah. Knicks. I would like to see the Knicks. Now, Tone came up to me yesterday and said, yo, Shay, the championship is going to be the Knicks versus the Timberwolves. I said never. The Timberwolves can't beat the Warriors. The Timberwolves can't beat the Warriors. The Warriors are not the Lakers. The Warriors showed me last night, they want to win, they win. Draymond Green, veteran, he got 2 or 3 rings. He was killing last night. And he smacked Jalen Green in the face for ripping him with the ball and got a flagrant technical and just gave him a regular tech. Because they like, yo, we give him a flagrant, we got to kick him out. Shout out to the NBA for not kicking out Draymond Green last night in Game 7. That would have made it trash. You know what I mean? He was a major play last night. He had like 2 or 3 threes, throwing nice passes. I even seen him catch a couple of dunks. Draymond Green is one of them. Draymond Green is one of them. So I ain't gonna lie, I like the Warriors running around for the playoffs. All right. So before we get into the show, we got Meek Mills. Meek Mills is outside. Oh no, with Jim Jones, I had that. Oh, here we go.
KFC, I bring that chicken up.
Yes!
You think he 1-on-1 too? Man, she had flew out with me on the jet, but now her Uber coming. She get out that sexy red. This is she got up. Like I ain't trying to pop up here. Nobody got nothing to do with nothing.
Let's go, Jim.
Let's go.
Let's go, Jim! They call it Jim Jones Unc YN. Shout out to the Unc YN. Yo! You can call Jim Unc YN all you want. He's the freshest nigga out there. Look at that outfit. Look at the fit.
KFC, I bring that
Get down to the socks.
You think he 1-on-1 too? She had flew out with me on the jet, but now her Uber coming. She get out that sexy red. This is she got up. Like I ain't trying to pop up here. Nobody got nothing to do with nothing. Let's go.
Unc YN. Shout out to the Unc YN. That's a fact. Yo, it's no different than seeing LeBron out there still. You know, when you see the old guys still running around, it's like what we gonna have left when LeBron retire. Even though LeBron is sickening, people are probably sick of him. He's been in the game for 20-something years. But realistically, when he leaves, what do we got left? When Curry's gone, what do we got left? Shout out to Curry. Curry get you the money. Curry get you the money. Shout out to Curry. Curry was on last night. And they tried to lock him down. 3 points at half, still killed him. All right, I wanted to talk about this. You ever go to a fast food restaurant and you got the young black girl, shout out to the YGs. Shout out to the YGs working in the fast food restaurants. I mean, they like me. When I go up there, they say, hey, baby, what you need, boo-boo? I'm like, chill, mama, you're not going to R. Kelly me. But they don't bother me. But according to Plaz says when he goes to these fast food restaurants, a black girl will serve a white person and be, hey, how you doing? welcome to McDonald's. But then when a black guy walks up there, they're like, hey, what's up? What you need? Now, is this true? Does this happen to y'all? Let me know. Let's listen to applause for a second. Hold on, I think I got it. Okay, here we go.
My little peanut butter crunch bowl. And there's some shit I see pretty regularly. And I just got sick of it this morning. So I go in there to place my little order. It's a white lady in front of me. She at the register. It's a black female behind the register taking her order. She just all smiles when the white lady walk up there. White lady placed order and walk down to the right to wait on her order. Here I come stepping right up, and her whole facial expression changed with me. Now she, can I take your order? And I mean this with the utmost respect. Just like I told her, you can't take a thing from me until you give me that same level of happiness you just gave that white lady. Give me the same smiles you just gave her. She ain't tell a joke. She ain't did a thing, but walk up here to the counter, and you like the Kool-Aid woman. So you can't take my order until you give me the same level of happiness you gave her. Smile. That's what I done told. Smile. No, you can't take my order. You can take it after you start smiling, just like you was for her. I'm sick of that. They walk up. Can I? Soon as I walk up here, you act like we just had an argument or something. I'm sick of that shit. And
So, what y'all think? We need to know. Yo, I'm gonna tell you that don't happen to me. I'm honest. I swear to you, they don't do that to me. They don't do that to me. When I go up to the black girls, they are nice to me, laughing, playing, all of that. Especially in my town. In my town, of course. Of course, they all know me. I got kids running around in the streets. They go to the high schools and junior high schools and shit like that. So they in the town, they probably know my kids. Like, come on, they father on the internet. Yeah. So I'm trying to tell you, they don't do that with me. I go to the supermarket, they laugh, play with me. It's all love. Shout out to Patricia in the building. Jada Barnes, what it do? Frank Johnson, what's good? Charles, you know the vibes. Yeah, I don't get that treatment, fam. That's a fact, Charles. But I put it on Instagram. All the comments are saying, all the black niggas are saying, that's what happens. Yeah. Come on, YGs. Why y'all doing this, YGs? Be nice. Yeah, baby. You know what it is? I think, this is what I think it is. I think when they see you, they might act like that because, you know, it's sort of like the culture kicking into each other. Kind of with those people probably at work, they probably feel like they could be secret shoppers, you know, somebody that worked for the company, you know, things like that, these girls. That's probably why they act like that. Now they see you, they probably get comfortable and say, you know what, now I could go back to being hood and ghetto. That's probably why. But that don't happen to me. Yeah. That don't happen to me. I'm on guard, it don't happen to me. And if it did, I don't notice it because, you know, my whole, you know, when I go get my food from these type of places, right? And this is real. Like, I'm not there to intentionally, you know, be mad and say you, like, get my fucking, be a prick to a person that's working. Because I understand being behind that counter, you know, there's a reason they're behind the counter. They're trying to eat, you know, maybe they couldn't find another job, whatever it is. So I understand, you know what I mean? When I'm 16 years old, I work at McDonald's. I get fired from McDonald's because I'm hooking up the whole high school. They come in there, give them number 2s, number 3s. This is the 90s. I was thirsty to get a job. I was trying to say, I need to work. I want to be in the working field. Yeah. That's a fact. And I still go to that McDonald's to this day, and they love me. They you know, they treat me like a celebrity there. You know, they give me free food. You know what I mean? Up until my father passed away, my father would eat in that same McDonald's for 10, 15 years, sit in the corner for 2 years with old people. This is when he retired. And they used to talk. Old guys just hanging out at McDonald's, just eating, talking about sports. This is where they would go. And my father, like, he used to like to go to this one McDonald's because there, it's like all the kids would go there and they all knew my father because he coached basketball. So they would all talk to him there. So this was a place they would see him there. So when I go there, they always ask me about him and everything. I don't even go there like that. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I mean? But, you know, I can understand why a YG would be upset or giving you the attitude if they behind the counter when they see somebody like you walk up to them, our culture, our people, because they kind of trust you. So they go back into their shell, go back into how they really are. So in a way, it's like disrespectful, but in a way, it's kind of like, okay, cool, you relax, you know I'm not going to shit on you. Go ahead, keep your ghetto attitude. Make sure my fries is hot, boo. That's it. Yeah. That's it. I'm not going to get on the internet and kill them, though. You know what I mean? Those are YGs. Yeah, they just feel comfortable. Green Tools, what is good, my dude? That's all. They just feel comfortable. So they go back to being them. That's all. They see those people, they get into those, hey, how you doing? Welcome to Wendy's. They start acting like that because they don't trust them. I'm telling you. Yeah, baby. That's a fact. Shout out to the Tunnel Radio. What's goody? Shout out to the Tunnel Radio over there on Facebook. They rock. Yeah, Jordan, here go a little clip of your man Smart Guy. He said, fuck. He said, F you, Kanye West.
Yeah.
All right,
Kanye
we
West,
know the
man.
mission's love. Exactly.
What you mean?
I understand what
All
you're
right,
saying.
then. So don't ask that question.
But
black
it's a
man.
real question.
No, it ain't. We can't answer that question because that question means that
Not everybody watching knows who they are.
I don't give a fuck. Yeah, I don't give a fuck. You see, we want to be desensitized and sensitized at the same fucking time. When the motherfucker gets spit, when the motherfucker's like, yo, oh, raw, spin the block, kill him, nigga, shoot him, good. Nigga like, oh, that shit hot. You heard what he said? Kill the nigga? Yeah, we love him. You talking about kill a white man. Oh my God. You're angry.
Get away from this guy.
You're angry. No. I'll pull it up. Look, yo, what he said? What he
Let
said?
me get away from this dude.
He said, what's up, nigga? Say what he said. Nigga, I ain't no nigga. No. You see? See, that's racism. Mm-hmm. That's slavery. That's mental slavery. Mm-hmm. When it's hate. No, brother. No, brother. No, brother. This is love. This is love. Right? This is love. And who do I love? I love you. I love you.
This is love. And who do I love? He's a right dude, man. Shout out to the Smart Guy talking them facts. Niche pulled up in the building too. Let's roll her out. Niche says, what's up, fam? Gives y'all a lot of kisses and hugs. You know Niche is the queen. She is definitely in the building. That's a fact. Yeah. Niche, we ain't had to kick nobody out in a long time. We got to give ourselves a round of applause. That means the people are feeling us, and they got to a point where it's like, yo, you know what? Why troll them? They're not hating on nobody. So we ain't kicked nobody in over 6 months. That's a good thing. That's a great thing. That's a fact. Yeah, because why get online to be kicking people out every 5 seconds? You know what I'm saying? That's just dumb. Who would do that? All right, so shout out to Niche. So we got a lot of Diddy talk today. You know, the trial started. We're going to definitely get on to that. Let's just see if we got anything else out there. Oh, Ruby Rose. Check out her. She talks about the guys that she done smashed in the industry. Nasty.
Various.
Famous men. I'm going to
name
a few.
Okay, I'll say
You could react. Cam Newton.
That one was weird. No, never. I've never even met him. Talked to him, nothing.
Travis Scott.
When I was younger. Oh wait, actually, I shouldn't do this. I shouldn't do this game. I shouldn't do this game.
I just got a few more names.
Should I do this game? Oh wait, let me see. Because I'm gonna take the ones that are not
Okay,
true.
when you were younger.
Yeah, when I was younger.
Okay, Soldier Boy.
Fudge, no. I think we DM'd as friends, but like nothing
Okay.
like freaky or crazy.
Lil Yachty.
We're friends. We've worked together
Okay. 21 Savage.
when I was younger. Oh wait, how many more are left?
No, that's it.
Okay, cool. Good.
All right.
That wasn't bad.
So you admitted to two of them. Travis Scott and 21 Savage when you were younger. Okay. It's not too bad.
So, Shorty talking about all the dudes that she done smashed in the game. She said 21 Savage, and I think she said 21 Savage, and who is this guy right here? Oh, and Travis Scott. Nasty work. That's what I'm saying. This is where we going with the podcast game. Chicks is trying to get lit now. They're getting on there talking about niggas that they smash. This is why I said, you know, no matter how famous your man get, I am smashing regulars. I'm telling y'all that now, boogers. Yeah, straight regulars. So all you regulars, holla at me. That's a fact. Boogers, get at me. I do not want to deal with none of these industry dotties. Yeah, like, don't get me wrong. Shorty looks good. She's not whack. She's bad. Yeah. But I know she wants clout. Why should I deal with that? Give me the boogers. Yeah, give me the boogers. Give me the regulars. I ain't gonna lie to you. Yeah. Charles, I'm working all the boogers. The booger killer. That's a fact. Give me a regular. She got a 9 to 5. She might watch a couple smokes on YouTube like this. That's it. Yeah. If you on TV and you got more than 1,000 followers on Instagram, I don't even want to even conversate with you. That's a fact. Yeah, baby. Because if you got 20, 30,000 followers and you showing your ass all day, I know you thirsty to show my text messages. I can't do it with you. Yeah, baby. And you better not ask me to send no dick pics. Yeah. You better not ask me to send no those pics and you got 30,000 followers, ma. Never. Yeah, baby. Yeah, Future. Snot rag with a booger. They gonna go further. They gonna have no problems with a snot rag with a booger. That's a fact. Yeah, baby. And you know what? This is the thing. If you a dude, right, and you into it, like you got a sex problem, you want to have sex, you want to have, you have a thing with having sex all the time. Why y'all want to have sex with these they walls are gone. No feeling in these chicks. Why do you think these guys are all Shannon Sharps and them are dating 22-year-olds and all of this? The 40-year-old industry chicks are washed up. They walls are like this. You could put the 2 fists in it. You finger popping them like this. Come on. Yeah, baby. Y'all heard what Niche said? Smash them like buttons and stop playing with it. But that's what I'm saying, fam. I don't know why these niggas want to be involved with these chicks like this. Shorty jumped on the internet and just blew him up to the max. And there was a couple other rappers. I just cut it off. She went into like 7 to 8 different niggas she slept with. Nasty out there. Crazy. Oh, well, what we gonna do, right? So last week, we talked about this. Oh, yeah, we can't forget about Shorty in the playoffs. Hey! Nasty work. Nasty work. Nasty! Whose wife is this? Once again, this is the playoffs, NBA. That's crazy, man. I would have smacked the shit out of my wife. What the hell is wrong with you? Yeah. Look at that. She long. She said the sloppy. And look how she opened her mouth. She want I need a black one. I'm at the basketball game. Where you black guys at? Nasty. Disgusting work. Right there. And she show her work. Yo, the Glizzy Queen. That's a fact, Niche. That's the Glizzy Queen. Yeah. Niche said, Patricia said she's showing off her work. Yeah, she said, yo, listen, they definitely, if she popped out on any of them comments, because she's all over Instagram, I ain't gonna lie to you. I know if she popped out in them comments, niggas is in her DM for that top. Yeah. What a thotty. What a thotty. That shit is crazy to me. All right, so let's move on, man. Let's get into the show now. You know the Diddy trial has started. The Diddy trial is in effect. All right, let's see. Look at your man. Look at your man. Your man said he want to come home this month. I don't know, man. I think it's gonna be tough, man. Diddy, you know, they want this. They want this man, dogs. They want him. They want him. They want Diddy, B. They want him. All right, let's see what's going on out there. Let's start off with her.
We turn now to a major case that has dominated the headlines for months now. Jury selection in the trial of Sean Diddy Combs begins tomorrow. And I did want to give you just a little bit of a background on this, as the trial will start tomorrow, beginning with jury selection at a federal courthouse in Manhattan. Testimony will likely start the following week. The three-time Grammy winner was indicted last September and has been since held in a federal jail in Brooklyn after judges ruled that he would be a threat to intimidate witnesses and victims if released. The 17-page indictment against Combs accuses him of using employees of his business endeavors, including record labels, a recording studio, an apparel line, an alcoholic spirits company, a marketing agency, a media company, and television network to facilitate his crimes through acts that included kidnapping, arson, and bribery. If convicted on all charges, which include racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, and transporting people across state lines to engage in prostitution, Combs faces a possible sentence of decades in prison. I do want to bring in criminal attorney Eric Faddis to speak more on this. And Eric, I appreciate you joining us here on Live Now from Fox.
Be with you, Stephanie.
So this case is going to have a lot of bombshell testimony, no doubt. But I want to start with jury selection that's expected to begin tomorrow. When it comes to what an ideal juror is for the defense and for the prosecution, what are each side looking for a juror?
Yeah, Stephanie, I think the defense is going to look for people who are open to non-traditional lifestyles, who can receive evidence of what defense will sort of style as sex, drugs, and rock and roll, and not get put off and not rush to judgment. On the flip side, the prosecution is going to be looking for folks who are not going to be distracted by, you know, the new shiny object over here, who are not going to get off course by any kind of circus the Diddy team may try to bring into this trial.
So, I mean, this has garnered much media attention. How does that factor in when it comes to selecting a jury? Because no doubt most people have heard of what is going on.
Totally. So it presents a significant problem. Here's the thing. The judge wants to find jurors who are fair and impartial and who have not already developed an opinion as to Diddy's guilt or innocence. Well, that's hard when every media outlet in the world has covered this case. They've likely already heard about it. And so what the judge is going to have to do is determine how much exposure the potential jurors have had to this Diddy saga and whether they can put that aside and simply base their verdict on what happens inside that courtroom and not everything that has gone on preceding that.
I also Leah, what's goody, Leah? You know, one of Combs' attorneys, and you mentioned the lifestyle of the sex, drugs, and rock and roll. You know, one of Combs' attorneys had mentioned,
shout to Leah's cute ass.
Is not perfect, but everything that was done was involving consensual adults. There are, there's a lot of evidence, particularly the one with the videotape of Sean Diddy Combs and his then girlfriend, Cassie, showing that he was punching, kicking, and then dragging her inside an LA hotel. How significant is that piece of evidence? The Combs attorneys, they didn't want this to be included. A judge ruled that it could be. So how pivotal is this particular piece of evidence?
The video of the Cassie Ventura assault can't be underestimated. So it's clearly inflammatory. Anyone who watches it, it evokes a feeling of, oh my gosh, I feel bad for this person. When we talk about the legal relevance of it, I think it goes more towards the RICO charge and less towards the sex trafficking charge, to show that Diddy engages in violence and threats of violence to silence people, to get his way. But of course, prosecutors will try to weave that video into the sex trafficking charges, as Cassie Ventura is listed as victim number 1 in the sex trafficking count.
So let's talk about those charges, because obviously the prosecutors have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt some of these charges. What do they have to present to actually indict Combs? Because a lot of this, is perhaps bad behavior, and no doubt his defense team is going to paint it as such. But how does it rise to the level of, let's say, racketeering and all these other charges?
Sure. So the first charge is racketeering. That is a law that was really developed to go after mafioso types, to go after crime families. Here that they're saying that Bad Boy Entertainment was a criminal enterprise and that Diddy engaged in multiple acts of predicate offenses. Those are listed as arson, bribery, kidnapping, that kind of thing. And that all of that was done in relation to and perhaps in furtherance of that criminal enterprise. Second, they are charging 2 counts of human or sex trafficking by fraud, force, or coercion. That's essentially that a commercial sex act was committed by fraud, force, or coercion. The prosecution is going to talk about drug intervention. Lastly, they're charging interstate, essentially like an interstate act where Diddy's team recruited a commercial sex worker, helped them transport that person across state lines for a commercial sex act. And so those are really the basics of the elements that the prosecution is going to seek to prove at trial.
We're going to hear from many witnesses, taking the stand. When you take a look at the scope of this trial, with jury selection beginning tomorrow and then likely testimony the following week, how long do you think that this trial is going to last?
I think some of the estimates that I've seen seem on the low end. I think this is going for, weeks, if not months. This is a very involved indictment. It includes alleged offenses that span almost 2 decades. And there are going to be multiple witnesses and law enforcement investigators and everything under the sun. The jury's going to hear about all of that. And then the defense also has a chance to put on their case. They're going to put on, their witnesses and try to establish that, hey, these acts, although they might be unsavory in some folks' eyes, they were not non-consensual. And because of that, they were not criminal acts.
There's been also a lot of discussion about whether Sean Diddy Combs himself will take the stand. Defense teams often shy away from that, even if, someone is very keen on, sharing their perspective, their truth. Do you think that's going to happen, or do you think that he is not going to take the stand?
Yikes, I would absolutely advise him not to take the
stand.
That's
a fact, Charles.
Because there's so much impeachment material that he would be confronted with while on the stand. Look at the Cassie video in and of itself. The prosecutor would walk through that in painstaking detail and say, hey, is this you, kicking your girlfriend in the stomach while she's on the ground? Is this you dragging her by her hair? Don't you understand that that could cause pain to somebody or cause them to be intimidated? Was that part of your design all along? All of these questions could be damning for Diddy, and I doubt that he would take the stand.
From your perspective as a criminal attorney, as we see this trial unfold, are you keeping a very close eye on anything in particular, whether it be certain witnesses, whether it be certain pieces of evidence? What are you really focusing on?
One thing that's really going to matter, I think, is how Cassie Ventura, victim one, presents on the stand. She is a superstar, and she has alleged that she was sex trafficked and also physically assaulted and everything else. If she could convey the emotional reality of what she says happened to the jury, make them feel what she felt in those moments, that is going to go a long way. On the other hand, if she comes off as kind of a disgruntled and jilted former ex-lover who has an axe to grind against Diddy, that is going to score points for the defense. And so really her testimony is going to be key in this trial.
So, do you expect her to be the first witness called to the stand, or do you think that they're going to save that testimony to the very end?
I'm not sure that they want to just play their entire hand right out of the gate. I think you sort of build up to it. You set the stage. You probably have some law enforcement witnesses who will talk about what Bad Boy Entertainment is, the investigation into the activities of that organization, and how that sort of gave rise to Diddy's feeling powerful and like he's untouchable, and then go into the specific acts that are alleged against Diddy with respect to sex trafficking, physical abuse, and that kind of thing.
Eric, it's going to be very interesting to see what comes of it. This is out of a New York City courtroom, so no cameras allowed inside, but oftentimes we do get some of those photos prior to them closing the doors to the media. It's going to be very interesting to see what comes out of it, and no doubt, Eric, we're going to be speaking with you again, but we appreciate you taking the time to join us today.
Good to be with you.
Crazy. So, that's just what's going on out there with your man Diddy. So Diddy, you can see that, he not taking no pleas, man. Diddy's taking this all the way to the end. That could be life for him if he loses this. Yeah. It could be over for Diddy if he loses this. That's a fact. Diddy, he feels he could win this. I mean, he ain't got no choice, my dude. Doing 20 years is crazy. Check out his son when his son came to the court. Him and the daughters went out there mad. It's crazy out there. Nasty. All right, here goes some more smoke with your man Diddy.
Again, viewer discretion is advised here as jury selection is set to begin tomorrow in the sex trafficking trial of Sean Diddy Combs, with testimony slated to start the following week. The music mogul faces an indictment that includes descriptions of quote-unquote freak-offs described as alleged drugged-up orgies where women were forced to have sex with men while Diddy filmed them. Wow. Prosecutors say witnesses have come forward accusing the entertainer of terrorizing people into silence by choking, hitting, kicking, and dragging them, often by the hair, even dangling someone from a balcony at one point. The defense arguing it was consensual sexual activity, while Diddy does acknowledge one episode of violence, the caught-on-camera beating of his former girlfriend, singer Cassie. Again, viewer discretion advised here as we discuss this further. I do want to bring in Nima Rahmani, former federal prosecutor and current president here of West Coast Trial Lawyers. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us today.
Thanks for having me, Josh. Always great to be on.
Of course. And first off, I do want to ask you, can you break down the charges that Diddy does face and really what the prosecution here has to prove?
Josh, there are three sets of charges. The least serious are the prostitution charges, and everyone knows what that is. That's the exchange of sex for something of value, usually money, and there has to be an interstate component. And here, some of these women were crossing state lines. Then you have the sex trafficking charges, and what separates sex trafficking from consensual sex, and we know that adults can consent to sex, no matter how freaky it is one of three things: force, fraud, or coercion. And in this particular case, the government is alleging force and coercion. Force speaks for itself. Diddy himself, his security, all the weapons that were confiscated. And then that coercion, that's that drug element. The victims here are alleging that they were drugged and forced to participate in these freak-offs, these orgies, over the course of days. Then you have the racketeering charge. And when you think of racketeering, usually you think of the mob, right? The cartel, some street gang. But racketeering is really any criminal enterprise, and that can be a loose association of two or more people that commit two or more racketeering acts. And here, The enterprise is Diddy and his entourage, similar to R. Kelly's entourage, for instance. And the RICO predicate acts are the sex trafficking, the violence, the forced labor. So those are generally the three sets of charges that comprise this indictment.
One thing I want to pop up here on your screen, it's a video that has been seen time and time again, circulated all over the internet. How might this hotel video showing Diddy assaulting Cassie affect the jury? He has admitted that, you know, this is something that did happen. It's caught on video. So how could it impact the jury overall?
Josh, this video is highly impactful because video doesn't lie. We can all see with our own eyes Diddy beating Cassie Ventura at the Intercontinental Hotel in Los Angeles. And let me just tell you how powerful this video is. Even after Cassie filed her lawsuit in November 2023 and Diddy settled it the next day, he denied the allegations. Even after his homes in Los Angeles and Miami were raided in March of last year, Diddy continued to deny the allegations. Only in May of last year, when CNN got a copy of this video and released it, did Diddy finally issue some sort of apology. I think the video is going to be the best evidence in this case. And if you believe Cassie Ventura, and I do, Diddy taped many of these freak-offs, both for his own sexual pleasure and maybe to maintain control over some of the other participants. And to the extent that those videos are played, I think it's going to be very damning evidence for the defense.
And I have to ask, when you talk about the defense overall, what is their defense? I know that there's been obviously different hearings that have been held. The defense has spoken to members of the media. What is their defense overall here?
Josh, their defense is going to be the following. This happened, but it was consensual. And whenever you're dealing with a sexual assault case, usually the defense will fall into one of two categories. I didn't do it, there was no sexual activity, or I did and it was consensual. And because we're not dealing with minors here, the defense is going to argue consent. And really they're going to argue that the victims here, they're lying. And they're lying for one of three reasons, or maybe all of them. Money, and many of them have filed civil lawsuits. Cassie's, of course, has settled for an 8-figure sum, 10 million or more. Then you have maybe victims who are seeking fame because of Diddy's power and influence in the entertainment industry. And last, maybe revenge. And, you know, oftentimes defendants will argue that this is a disgruntled ex that has an axe to grind. So this case will indeed be based entirely on cross-examination of the victims. So the government, of course, will want to corroborate their testimony. Some of these allegations were made many years later. The civil lawsuits certainly don't help because it creates at least the argument that this is about money and there's a potential motivation to lie or fabricate the evidence. So the government's going to want video. They're going to want independent witnesses. Obviously, members of Diddy's entourage help procure these women, set up the freak-offs, get the hotel rooms, set up the lights and cameras. So to the extent you have video, you have individuals that corroborate this victim testimony, I think that's going to be helpful for the Department of Justice in this case.
As far as the defense here, we are going to see the jury selection take place tomorrow. Testimony expected to get underway here in about a week or so. So the following week after jury selection, what are the sides looking for when you talk about a possible jury pool here? It's unlikely that people haven't necessarily heard about this case or at least know who Diddy is. So what is
Don
the prosecution,
Cooper's
the
goodie.
defense, what are they looking for?
Prosecution and defense, they're looking for favorable jurors. And like you said, Josh, everyone in the entire world has
JC,
heard about
what's
this
poppin'?
case. No place in the country or even the world can move this trial to. It is indeed the trial of the century, or certainly the biggest trial since maybe Johnny Depp, maybe even going back to OJ. So what the defense is looking for, they're looking for favorable jurors. And what are favorable jurors? These are jurors that are skeptical of these types of allegations. Maybe people that think Me Too has gone too far. Maybe jurors who think that, well, women or men who put themselves in this situation can't later argue rape. This is really regret more than anything. Of course, the government is going to want to exclude those types of jurors, as well as any jurors that are potential fans of Diddy, because we know that celebrities tend to do better at criminal trials and even civil ones than ordinary folks. So any fans, the prosecution is going to want to get them off.
Haas Dougie, what's
Jurors,
goody?
people that might want to get on this and write a book about it when it's all said and done. So I think both sides are going to have their jury consultants, and they're going to use their intuition to remove any of these types of jurors. We have about 600 of them coming into the potential panel. They'll be stricken one by one, and the 12 that remain are going to be the 12 jurors in this case.
As you mentioned here, this is a high-profile case. There's a lot of celebrities who have been named, involved in some way. So I have to ask, because I know we don't necessarily know for sure if Diddy will testify. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think that he will take the stand?
I do not think he will. I think it's far too risky for the defense to put him on the stand. Now, there have been some rumors on social media that he will. And if he does, the entire case is going to come down to his testimony, which is typical when a defendant takes the stand. I think the defense is going to focus on undermining the credibility of the victims in this case.
Crazy. Yeah, I don't think Diddy want to take the stand because, like he said, there's too many people that, you know, they're going to be, like Cassie destroyed him. If you take Cassie out of this, Diddy got a fair shot. It's hard for Diddy, the people to look for Diddy when they see that tape, bro. I'm telling you. Because even though they got to prove him with the sex tapes, the baby oil, all of the drugging up and all of the taping, it's like you want him to be guilty when you think about the tape. That's what they're saying. It's hard to take the stand when the tape makes him look bad. You know, like Menace Society, stop showing the tape. Yeah, shake baby. Yeah, is that if Diddy take the stand, he going the Nino Brown route. Yeah, if Diddy take the stand, he definitely going the Nino Brown route. I agree. I can see Diddy up there like Nino Brown too. Yeah, that's a fact. Yo, shout out to Charles. That's a fact. Yeah, he definitely going the Nino route. He ain't got no he ain't got no choice. He ain't got no choice at that point, man. Yeah, yo, Charles, tomorrow, I'm gonna make a reel and a clip of the Nino Brown so they can see it. That's a fact. Yeah. So it's safe to say, Diddy on the stand, turning to Nino Brown, facts. Ah! Yeah, baby. Word. Charles, you wild for that one, cuz.
To jury selection in the Sean Diddy Combs trial. Combs will be present in a New York court this morning as he faces multiple charges, including racketeering and sex trafficking. Chief investigative correspondent Aaron Katursky is there at the court for us. Good morning, Aaron.
And Ryan Clifton, what's good? Famous faces have appeared in this courthouse, but never before has such a cultural force stood trial. And moments from now, they're going to begin picking a jury of ordinary citizens to sit in judgment of a chart-topping rapper and music impresario.
This morning, jury selection begins in the most anticipated trial of the year, the racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking trial of Sean Combs. Known by various names through the years, Puffy, Puff Daddy, Diddy, Combs became one of music's most influential figures.
Can't nobody hold me down.
Oh no! To keep on moving!
But federal prosecutors are now out to prove he used his power, wealth, and fame to force women into prolonged, drug-fueled orgies he called freak-offs, and then threaten them into silence.
This office is determined to investigate and prosecute anyone who engages in sex trafficking, no matter how powerful or wealthy or famous you may be.
Combs rejected a last-minute offer to plead guilty. His attorneys are out to convince the jury the government is trying to police consensual sex by a swinger who they say invited third parties into his bedroom.
The prosecution in this case are going to be looking at attitudes or experiences towards government and prosecutors. If they believe that, prosecutors unfairly targeted
Ryan Clifton, good looks, my boy.
The defense side.
Appreciate you. Hit that like button too, my boy.
Sexual preferences. And hip-hop lifestyle.
Prospective jurors have already answered written questions about their knowledge of Combs, their ability to be fair, and their tolerance for a 2-month trial with explicit evidence. That includes video obtained by CNN showing Combs chasing then-girlfriend Cassie Ventura down a hotel hallway in 2016, knocking her down and kicking her. Combs later issuing an apology video.
I mean, I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable.
Combs has appeared thinner than when he was first arrested back in September, his hair grayer. Jury selection could take about 3 days, and then, guys, opening statements are scheduled 1 week from today. Guys.
Okay, Aaron, thanks very much. Our chief legal analyst, Dan Abrams, is here. How tough is it going to be to pick a jury here?
They'll be able to find a jury. I mean, look, they've got a lot of these questions already being asked in the form of a questionnaire, right? And I find that in a lot of these high-profile cases, you see when you start talking to people, people aren't following the ins and outs of these cases the way certainly I am or we are every day. People know that he's been indicted. They don't know the details of the case. The critical point here in jury selection is going to be trying to avoid the wrong jurors, right? It's not about, oh, we're going to find a jury that's all going to be really helpful to our side. Each side is trying to make sure they don't pick particularly bad jurors. It'll take a little longer than a typical case, but they'll be able to find a jury.
All excellent points there. How strong is the prosecution's case, and what could possibly be the defense's strategy?
So it's going to come down to the quality of the witnesses that they call, meaning how persuasive are these accusers? Remember, these are people who also filed civil lawsuits against him. So we don't know yet. This is not an easy case for prosecutors, that's for sure, because as a legal matter, they're going to have to show that this was coercion, that this was forced. And
Judy, what's poppin', my boy?
These are people who don't have, these are people who were in relationships with him. This was consensual on their part. And remember, the prosecution has the burden of proof. We talk about it every time. That gives the defense
smash them like buttons. Smash them like buttons.
All beyond a reasonable doubt.
All right, but it all starts today. All right.
Yep.
Thanks so much, Dan.
Crazy. So yeah, man, everything starts off today. The kids, I guess they're gonna be back there today. This was them there, I guess, last week. They walked up out of there, stormed out of there when I guess they denied Diddy the bail, denied, he denied the plea bargain. They was tight. They still looking like money though. They still looking like that bread out there though. I see them moving around 100%. Yeah, man, so we got all week of this, man. This Diddy case is just beginning, man. Today, they, like I said, they just looking for the jury today, gonna pick who they're gonna be. I mean, it's tough, man. I don't know, man. I hope they give Diddy a fair shot. I don't know what to say about this, man. I don't know. It seems like niggas was partying. These guys are groupies, man. These people are fans. How can you fault the nigga? Like, the only thing I hate on Diddy about is what he did to the girl in the hallway, Cassie. Other than that, I look at that regular parties, man. You know how to say no. You are grown-ups. Like, I don't have sympathy for a man. If Diddy tossed your salad, I don't have sympathy for you. You allowed that to happen. You're a grown-ass man. You allowed Diddy to toss your salad. You allowed that. Why should I want to see him in jail? Because you wanted him to toss your salad and take drugs with him and hang out with industry niggas like a groupie. Come on. Y'all gonna lock a nigga up because you niggas is groupies out there. That's disgusting. We're gonna see what happens, man. Let me see what they saying. Diddy and Young Thug had a baby. Damn, dog, cool. Damn, dog, cool. That's a fact. All right, check this out before we get out of here. But yeah, man, we rocked out today, man. Dr. Umar. Let's give him an applause today, man. Dr. Umar, today he was cooking. I'm not going to lie. Dr. Umar was on his he's one of them dudes that, sometimes he goes crazy. He goes overboard when he starts getting crazy about white people and stuff like that. He's like my man, the smart guy. But these guys are talking facts, man. And that's a fact. You know what I mean? So, shout out to them. Maybe one day, I probably will sit down with Dr. Umar. He's probably on the list. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Gold Dust, you a wild boy. Yeah, man. None of this BDSM with y'all, man. I bet not hear y'all out there tying these chicks up this summer, man. Putting on all black is butt naked with a poo shiesty on, busting these chicks down. Nasty work. Nasty work. Yeah. I won't see none of that BDSM with you guys tying these chicks up, man. It's a long summer. Let's have a good time. You know what I mean? But we all got a lot of smoke. Keep your eye to the platform. We're going to be rolling stuff out daily now on this Diddy Smoke. You know what I mean? I'm going to be outside too. Summertime basketball, we're going to be outside, man. 100%. And shout out to Soli's Julie. We got the SBTV piece being made right now. That's going to be crazy. So I'm putting a little chain on for the summertime while I'm talking to y'all. Why not? Julie want to show love. Give it to me for all the hard work that I've been doing. Promote his company. That's what I'm in business for. That's what I'm in business for. All right, y'all. I will see y'all tomorrow. Take a look at that Knicks game tonight. Let's see what Kenny Anderson say one more time.
Yo, I'll be very surprised. I'll be surprised if the Knicks beat the Celtics in this series. I'll be surprised. But anything's possible. But I have the C's winning in 5. Winning in 5. The Knicks might win one game. That's what and I know all my New York, oh, he's a hater. Yeah. I hate on the Knicks from New York, but I don't care nothing about the Knicks. I'm all Brooklyn Nets, New Jersey Nets, Boston Celtics. That's how we roll.
That's a fact. We're going to see what happens tonight.
What's up, y'all, man? Check out SHEABABYTV. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. That's your man, Mikal Bridges. I'm going to be watching that game. I'm going to have the Celtics tonight for the money line, but I'm going to take a lot of player props because I think they're going to run up and down. Good game tonight. Shout out to them. All right, y'all. See y'all tomorrow. We rocked out for an hour. Tomorrow, we right back on it. Your man, Diddy. Pause. Let's talk about it. I'll see y'all tomorrow, and we back, man. It's a new week. We're going to keep it rocking. That's a fact.
Welcome to the VIP section.
Shay, baby, y'all. 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 Shay, baby, y'all.
The vibes. Make sure you go like and subscribe to the channel if you like what's going on, if you like all the hip-hop and the sports news, and you like everything that Shay Baby's bringing to the table. Make sure you like and subscribe. You already know the vibes.